Hello again, this is Dr. B, and I'm back to tell you more about lithium. But this time it's about lithium and your feelings. Feelings are very, very important for all of us, okay? I told you last time that feelings had to do a lot with kind of more like the central part of your brain. But really, it's all your brain, emotions and feelings are part of being alive, okay? We are happy, at times, and we are sad at other times, and angry maybe some other times, whatever. But we have feelings, we just don't think with our brain like a computer. We have a lot more, and these feelings are part of our lives. Unfortunately, in modern life, there is this thing that has to do with feelings that's very important, and it is called stress. We are all under a tremendous amount of stress, especially everywhere now, but especially if you live in cities or whatever, there's stress coming from every angle you can think of, okay? I mean, we have to worry about IRS, we have to worry about mortgages, things we have to pay, personal problems, our marriages, how to take care of our loved ones, our children, you name it. I mean, my God, there's like 10 zillion things why we are stressed out. And there's a problem also that this is chronic stress, not just stress one time, it's just like it's there always waiting for us. And you put on your TV or you go into the internet and we find out about all the problems around the world. And we go, oh my God, what's happening, So stress has a lot to do with feelings. It is normal, if you see something happen on TV and you watch it and it is bad, and they tend to put a lot more bad things than good things, it is normal for you to feel bad, okay? And we get a lot of this because we pay attention more to bad things. It makes us worry. And they use that to sell us things, You need this because if not, this will happen. You need this much insurance and you need much of this. All of that is a way of modern life. So in a way, if we live in a more developed society, we tend to get more stress and therefore more anxiety, worry. And your emotions are a lot more involved and complicated. It seems hard to get away from it all, That's why we go to the beach, we go up in a mountain, or we do all kinds of stuff to let go of that stress, okay? So, but talking now about lithium, as you recall, in the past, people just found out that if they went to all these places that had magical waters, they felt more relaxed. And people had less problems and less suicides and less homicides and less violent behavior. They didn't know what even was in there, but it was there, okay? And it's very interesting, the whole story behind it. These lithiated waters were used quite commonly and are still commonly used around the world, even here in the United States. And it brings me back to the very interesting story. At the beginning, in the early 1900s, I don't know if you know that Coca-Cola had coca, which is from coke leaves, in it as a stimulator. Not cocaine, but coca. But anyway, there was a company that made lithiated water for sale with lemon flavor. And it was called that, lithiated lemon flavored soda. Guess what? They decided to put lithium in the water. And guess what that became? 7 Up. Why do they call it 7 Up? And today we still have 7 Up, right? But it doesn't have the lithium in it. Now, they took that away a long time ago. But the name lithium and 7 Up are related to each other. 7 is the atomic mass of lithium. This is something, chemistry and so on. I'm not going to go into it. But it's just a way you actually measure like the weight of lithium, the atomic mass, 7. And up means obviously people felt better when they took this 7 Up. So it was very obvious. This is a long time ago. This is probably 1910s, 1920s. And there were lithiated water sold everywhere in the United States and around the world until actually very recently. It's maybe 1950s. And there are still some that are sold. But anyway, what does this have to do with what we're going to be talking about? Obviously, it has to do with lithium. The primary use of lithium in the United States and around the world today is to treat bipolar depression. It's also called manic depression. Now, what is that? That is a condition which is inherited, is genetic, in which people have extreme shifts of mood. They go from being extremely happy, extremely creative, usually very intelligent people. They produce a lot, and they can't seem to stop working and doing things. That's what we call them manic or hypomanic as doctors, okay? And but what's the problem with that? They burn out, and all of a sudden they go into the opposite. They go into the most severe forms of depression imaginable. And the real gold standard for treating these people is lithium. Now, these people who have severe bipolar disease need higher dosages of lithium. But it does work. It does work very well. And a lot of the knowledge that we have about lithium comes from the treatment of these people. Later on, I will go maybe into a little more detail about the studies. Because a lot of the studies were done on people with bipolar disease. But what I wanted to tell you, the most important thing I want to tell you in this part is that lithium isn't just for bipolars. There are a lot of other people that can be helped by lithium in a safe way by using smaller amounts of lithium. And I've started to do that with my patients. Again, not as part of any kind of study, but just as a response, my response as a physician to the needs of my patients, who a lot of them are my friends, my neighbors, the people I see at church, and people I just see that I recognize that they need help. Lithium is a mood stabilizer. In other words, instead of going up and down, up and down, up and down, when you take even small amounts of lithium, your moods stabilize. They don't tend to get up so high or low so much. Okay? And so this mood stabilizer effect, even in small quantities, can be very important for you. And it probably is the reason why in those places where there's lithium in the water, the people are more stable. It hasn't been proven 100%, but the evidence looks very, very good, okay? So this mood stabilizer effect is amazing. People, when they are even small amounts of lithium, just seem to get things together better, They're more reasonable. They're less apt to get out of control, and so on. So I wanted to tell you that there's a lot of people have anxiety from the stress, guess what? They can be helped with little amounts of lithium. There are people also who have other worse problems. If you have too much anxiety for a long time, you can develop panic attacks. That's where anxiety gets so high that you literally, go bananas. You think you're going to die. And people end up in the emergency rooms. Doctors know this all the time, a lot of people end up thinking they have a heart attack. And no, they're just having a panic attack. I'm not telling you, if you have chest pain, you go to the ER, you get checked out. But a lot of people have panic attacks. And I have had patients who have been helped tremendously by small amounts of lithium. And I notice I keep saying that, small amounts of lithium. It's not bipolar depression amounts, it's much smaller amounts. It comes to my mind, right there where, in my office, this is my office, I've treated people, for instance, one man, he works a very important position in an international company. And he has to fly all over the world, not only to fly to inspect things that are made in other parts of the world and so on, but he also has meetings all over the world. And guess what? He is so scared of flying. He gets panicky when he gets in an airplane. And sometimes he has to be in an airplane, 10 hours at a time, whatever. So he had that problem, okay? Also, he would get scared if he had to speak in public. He had to speak in public. He had to go to all these meetings. He was usually being treated with other types of medications, like, you've probably heard of Xanax or diazepam or all these. They're called benzodiazepines. But anyway, these type of medications, yeah, help, but they put you to sleep and kind of, whatever, make you drowsy and all that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? A small amount of lithium from day one. He sent me a picture from the airport, getting out of a plane after flying 10 hours, and he's smiling. And he tells me, I didn't get a panic attack, which is amazing, Another person that I have, a patient of mine, came in here and she just told me every day she gets at least 2 panic attacks a day. Just taking her kids to school provokes an anxiety, a panic attack for years. And I told her about the possibility of lithium. And she would take other medications, again, usually benzodiazepines. But anyway, guess what? From the very first moment she took her first lithium pill, small amount again, no more panic attacks. No more panic attacks. She couldn't believe it. Neither could I, really. But there she was, and a month later, she came into my office to celebrate her first ever month without a panic attack. That is on a very small amount of lithium. That's pretty impressive. Again, I am not telling you to do this as a treatment. You have to go see your doctor, but you can't lose. But all I have to tell you right now, listen, it's not just for bipolars. It's for a lot of us. We just have to know the right amount and how to use it. So that's what I have to tell you about emotions and lithium. God bless you. And I'll be back next time to keep talking to you about other things that have to do with lithium. And see you later, alligator, in a while, crocodile. Bye-bye.